In today's video, we will be ranking every single NFL NFC conference division by position. Now, just a few weeks ago, I did the AFC divisions by position. If you haven't checked that out, I will link that in one of the, what are they called? The little cards, I think they're called up here. You'll see it pop up at some point, and make sure you go check that video out as well. If your favorite team is in the AFC, go ahead and check that one out. You might stick around for this NFC one as well, though. But either way, before we get into this video, let me remind you to check out W Energy. This is my favorite energy drink. They are, well, if you can't tell, I've got a bunch of them behind me. This morning, I'm actually drinking one of them right now. I'm drinking the Oda's Restore Potion. It's one of their matchups with another streamer or something like that. Not really familiar with who he is, but hey, the flavor is delicious. It is super tart. Fruity candy is kind of the flavor profile. It's super good, and you can go check them out at w.gg. I will have a link in the description of this video below. And make sure you use Shredder for 10% off your order of anything on their website. Let's get right into this video. We will start in the NFC North going through, and we're going to start with the quarterbacks. So, this is an interesting division because they have a lot of talented players. Crazy enough, I do think at this point Jared Goff is the best quarterback in this division, followed by Jordan Love, then Caleb Williams, and then J.J. McCarthy. No hate to J.J. He just hasn't really played, so you can't put him over Caleb, who's played okay. I mean, he wasn't great. He wasn't bad. It was kind of somewhere in the middle. Moving on to running backs, I think the Lions are going to win this one pretty easily. Obviously, having Jahmyr Gibbs, who is a weapon, and then David Montgomery as well, is a pretty tough thing to beat. You have DeAndre Swift, you have Aaron Jones, and you have, who is Green Bay? Oh, Josh Jacobs. I think I'm going to go with them at 2. Josh Jacobs is a better player than probably Gibbs, or well, honestly, it's probably pretty close between him and Gibbs. But adding in David Montgomery, that's hard to beat, man. Then I'll go with Aaron Jones, and then DeAndre Swift. So far, just switching up the back two pieces. O-line. I do really like the Lions O-line. Obviously, they have a good crew there. Good crew. This might be the best O-line division in the entire NFL. The Bears just brought in a couple guys. They obviously have the guy they drafted like in the 4th or 5th round a couple years ago. What is his name? Oh my goodness, I just went blank. Not Tevin Jenkins. Oh my goodness, that's gonna. It's the B. Oh my goodness, I gotta look it up. It's gonna drive me insane. Braxton Jones, bro. I couldn't think of it. They have him and Darnell Wright. They brought in Drew Dahlman. They brought in Joe Tooney. They brought in the other guard. I can't remember who his name is right now either, but I could see his face. Anyways, not going to look that one up. This is a great division of O-linemen. Green Bay probably loses this one. Honestly, I think the Vikings have number 2, then go with the Bears, and then go with the Packers. The Packers they don't have a bad O-line. It's just these teams have really, really good O-lines. And at least Bears on paper look like they're going to be a lot better than what the Packers have. Moving on to wide receiver rooms. This is a tough one, but Vikings get number 1 here. Obviously, Justin Jefferson is hard to beat. Nobody else has a receiver that's even really in his ballpark. Then they have Jordan Addison on top of that. Moving on, I mean, you've got DJ Moore, but he's closer to Addison than he is Justin Jefferson, in my opinion. Same thing with Amon-Ra's probably 2. DJ Moore probably follows him up, and then Packers. Packers have a lot of good, not any great, but like a lot of good. Like 3 or 4 solid receivers. Just nobody is better than that. Moving on to tight end. Hawkinson is super good. I'm a big TJ Hawkinson guy. Then you get Sam Laporta in there. And then I think you got Tucker Kraft, had a really good season last year. And then, I'm going to actually go with Cole Kmet. I think, once again, really good tight end division. Cole Kmet's pretty good. Not only do they have him now, they also have Colston Loveland. So that's 2 guys versus, him and Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave. I'll give it to Cole Kmet, who's been kind of around the league a little bit longer. Moving on to corners. This is a tough division here because there's not a lot of good corners here. You probably have the Bears number 1. That's probably not really debatable. Then you've got, oh man, I like what I've seen from the Vikings lately, but it's a lot of them. The players aren't great. They have a really good scheme. Terrion Arnold's pretty good, man. I'm going to go with that. Then I'm going to go with Vikings. I'm going to go with Packers. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to move the Packers up. They brought in Nate Hobbs this year. I forgot about that. I had to do a little bit of looking. I honestly couldn't remember. Moving on. Safeties. This is a weird one. You've got Brian Branch. You've got, man, who am I missing here? There's Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph, who are a really solid group. You've got Metellus and Harrison Smith for the Vikings. You've got Xavier McKinney and Evan Williams for the Packers. And the Bears have Byard and Jaquan Brisker. So for this, I'm going to go, this is a tough one, honestly. You've got to give credit to where credit's due. Harrison Smith and Josh Metellus are pretty solid. I'm going to go there. Lions at 2 with Brian Branch. He's probably the next best player available. Then we'll go with Packers, and then these are all, once again, this is such a really talented division, rostered down. Like every team here has just legitimate players at every position, it seems like. D-line is kind of where that does change a little bit. Obviously, you've got, the Vikings have a really good D-line. They brought that in last year, and it's really been good. Not to mention Brian Flores is going to just go crazy with whoever they have. After this gets really tough because Green Bay is a lot of depth, not a lot of great. I mean, Kenny Clark's pretty dang good, but he's really the only guy that's anything special. Aiden Hutchinson, he's probably going to have to be the next guy. D-line does include edge rushers. Doesn't matter if they're 3-4, 4-3, it includes that. I'm going to go with Packers after that and then Bears. I think that's the best thing I can do. Moving on to linebacker. Jack Campbell, obviously a super good linebacker. You've got Edgerrin Cooper and Quay Walker. You've got, who are their linebackers in Minnesota? I can't think right now. You've got Ivan Pace and Blake Cashman, who are not bad. And then you've got, Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards. This is a tough one. I'm going to go with, this is a lot more depth here because they've got a lot of good players here. So I'm going to go with, I think the Lions, I like their crew the best, then the Bears. Probably after that, I'll go Vikings and then Packers. I think theirs happens to be the worst of the group. And then special teams, you're talking about kickers, you're talking about punters. Honestly, we're changing this. Head coach. Who we like head coaches? Special teams, kickers change too much anymore. Jake Bates, you got him. You've got, I don't even know. Is it the Carlson guy still? I don't know. I don't even remember who kickers are right now. Head coaches, we're going to go with that. Give me Dan Campbell, number 1. Kevin O'Connell, number 2. Matt LaFleur, number 3. And we've got to see what happens with Ben Johnson. He hasn't done anything. So at this point, I think the Lions are pretty obviously the best team in this division. They've got, at worst, the second best on everything. Then let's say Vikings look like a strong number 2. I mean, they get a lot. I only have 2 fourth places, 2 third places, and everything else is up here. And then probably Packers and then Bears, because Bears they only go up twice ahead of the second overall. So looks like the rankings here: Lions, Vikings, Packers, Bears. So I just recorded this whole thing without turning my recording on. So I'm just going to walk you through what I did here. Jalen Hurts, obviously, is better than Dak Prescott. He's won Super Bowl now. You can't argue with that. Jaden Daniels, if you know me, if you know how I think about rookies and things like that, rookies can't be a top 5, top 10 quarterback after one season. I don't care how good Jaden Daniels was. He had a good season for a rookie, not a good season as a quarterback. I mean, it was a good season overall, but it was just really good for a rookie. We saw a guy, RG3, on the same team back in the day, have a great rookie year and never do anything after that. He has to play at least 2 years before I give him the utmost credit, right? Giants, yeah, whatever. Saquon, Brian Robinson, and then you've got Javonte Williams and Tyron Tracy. Yeah, I don't really think, you may argue here in the back end, but that's about it. Everything else is pretty straightforward. Tight end, Dallas Goedert is better than Jake Ferguson. Jake Ferguson is better than Zach Ertz. And even though I'm a big Zach Ertz fan, I will say, Zach Ertz is better than Theo Johnson, Daniel Bellinger, whoever you got there. Not really sure that's a debate. This one's our first real debate here. You got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith versus CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. I think George Pickens is better than Devontae Smith by a little bit. Not a ton, but a little bit. And, CeeDee and A.J. are kind of a wash, but I just feel like the depth for Philly is a lot better than the depth for Dallas. So I'll give him that credit there. Moving on. Commanders, you got Terry McLaurin, but after that, not much. I don't really think Deebo Samuel's all that great. You can think what you want. He's not. So moving on. And then Malik Neighbors is cool and all, but yeah, that's all you got. Philly has the best O-line. We're not worried about that. Then followed by the Commanders, Sam Cosmi and that crew are really cool. Dallas has lost a lot of their O-line in the last few years, but they've replaced it. They've at least tried to make it look better. And you're sitting over here with Greg Van Roten and Jermaine Illuminor on your right side, so I'm not really worried about you. D-line, this does include edge rushers because, for example, Nolan Smith, he is an edge rusher. He's a linebacker technically when you look at the roster, but that plays off the edge. It's not like he's an off-ball backer, so that's how I do this. Philly has a great D-line. Obviously, you have, what's his name? You have Jordan Clark. What? That's not right. Who am I talking about here? Why did I just blank? Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. How am I blanking on that so hard? Then you got Brian Burns. You got Kayvon Thibodeau. You got Abdul Carter. You've got a really solid group there. Then you've got, Dorrance Armstrong and Javon Kinlaw and who's the other guy they have? Deron Payne. That's what I'm thinking of. Jerzon Newton. And then Mozzie Smith. Micah Parsons is really good and all, but the rest of their line is really not good at all. So there we go. Linebackers, off-ball backers, Bobby Wagner and Luvu. You've got Azeez Ojulari and Nakobe Dean. You've got Micah McFadden and Okereke. And then you've got Jack Sanborn. Yeah, Cornerbacks, Deron Bland, Trayvon Diggs, whatever. Marshawn Lattimore and Sanders Still. That's pretty cool. Quinton Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, they need a couple years to give themselves the utmost attention. They could quickly jump up to this number 1 tier, though. And then Paulson Adebo, very cool. Safeties, they win this one. Javon Holland is a pretty good safety. I'll give you that one. But other than that, I really like the duo of Blankenship and Sidney Brown and Andrew Makuba, even though he may play in the slot. Down here you got Trayvon Diggs, not Trayvon Diggs, Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson. Sorry. Those are solid safeties. And then down here, Quan Martin and Will Harris just don't move me. Head coaches, Sirianni, he's won a Super Bowl. Dan Quinn, he's been to a Super Bowl. Brian Daboll, I like Daboll. Schottenheimer, he's done nothing. Moving on. All right, now jumping into the NFC South quarterback room here. So we've got Bryce Young, Baker Mayfield, Michael Penix, and okay. So we'll go there. We'll go Bryce Young. He played well at the end of last season. Then we'll go Michael Penix. He played 2 games and did okay, nothing special. And then we've got Tyler Shook, Jake Hayner, Spencer Rattler, whoever. Running backs. Panthers have a really solid room. Like, they have a super deep room. Let's go ahead and look at their depth chart really fast. Chuba Hubbard, Rico Dowdle, Trevor Etienne. They also have Jonathan Brooks, who is, obviously their high-round pick a couple years ago, and he's not played yet. But talent-wise, it's there. Then you probably got Kamara. That's probably the next place I'd go. Kendre Miller's there as well. Bijan Robinson, though. I think he's actually better at this point than Kamara. And then they'll finalize with Bucky Irving. I like Bucky Irving. He just doesn't have as much talent as some of these other guys. It is storming like crazy. O-line. This is a tough one. I like the Panthers O-line. I think they've done a lot of good stuff the last couple years with their O-line, and they're in a much better place than they once were. Other than that, that's tough. Bucks, I think they're pretty good. Cody Mott, Graham Barton, Tristan Wirfs, obviously, Luke Godeke. They may beat out the Panthers. I think I'm going to beat them out the Panthers. After that, I think Falcons win this one, and then Saints follow up. Saints, not great. Receiver rooms. You got Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. That's a big W. Drake London, solid player, not amazing. He may still get that one at least. Then I'm going to go with the Saints with Chris Olave, but then again, no, I'm not. I'd rather have the Panthers receiver room. Olave is all they have. Rashid Shaheed, he's a gadget dude. He's not special. They at least have, Thielen and Leggett and Ted McMillan and, whoever else. I'll give them that much. Tight ends. Cade Otton, Kyle Pitts, Tommy Tremble. Is he their tight end right now? Yeah, he is. And the Saints have Juwan Johnson. This is not... I guess Kyle Pitts. This is a crap load of tight ends. None of them are that good. Give me Cade Otton. Give me Juwan Johnson. Give me Tommy Tremble, I suppose. Cornerback room. This is where things get a little interesting. The Saints have lost a lot of corners. They obviously traded away Lattimore, and they lose Adebo in free agency. You've got McCollum and whatnot down in Tampa Bay. A.J. Terrell, obviously really good. I think I'm going to go with A.J. Terrell and Co. first. Then you've got J.C. Horn is good, but everything else for Carolina is not great. I don't know, man. I guess he has to go next. Then we'll go here, then we'll go there. Kool-Aid McKinstry is fine, but not amazing. That's for sure. Safeties. Antoine Winfield's going to win his crew early. There, that's just easy there. Morig and Ransom, Tyrann Mathieu and Justin Reed is a much better group than they once were. And then Jesse Bates and Xavier Watts. I actually think this is what I'm going to do. I think the Saints with Tyrann Mathieu and Justin Reed, that's a really good combo. You have, obviously, what's his name? Jesse Bates, but the opposite guy from him is not great. D-line, this includes edge rushers, Cameron Jordan, Nathan Shepard, Kalen Saunders, and Carl Granderson down for the Saints. You've got Derek Brown, Bobby Brown, Deshaun Wharton, and DJ Wanham for the Panthers, and then also Nick Scorton and also Prince Umain-Mielen. Logan Hall, Vita Vea, Kalijah Kancey, Yaya Diaby down there for the Bucks, and the Falcons, Morgan Fox, Ruka Rororo, David Onyemata, Leonard Floyd, and Jalen Walker. And James Pierce now. Interesting. I think I'm going to... Wait, hold on. I did 2 of the same team there. What happened? Panthers. Safeties. Yes, there we go. D-line, this is a tough one, man. A really tough one. I do like what the Carolina Panthers have done. Obviously, they have Derek Brown, and they have Nick Scorton now. Prince Umain-Mielen. That's really, really solid. You got something to work with at least. But then you kind of kick into high gear, and you see some... Chase Young, I forgot about him. Yeah. I think the Saints do beat them out because they just don't have the most talent. Deshaun Wharton, great. Not really worried about that. Vita Vea, Kalijah Kancey, Yaya Diaby. Son Reddick now. They go here, I think. And Falcons, they don't really have a key guy. I mean, Onyemata's fine. Floyd is fine. At least all these guys, we have Vita Vea. We have Derek Brown. We have Cam Jordan and Chase Young and decent players there. I don't see any talent that sticks out to me at the moment for the Falcons. Linebackers, these are your off-ball guys. You have Lavonte David and Anthony Walker, obviously. You got Josie Jewell and Christian Roseboom. You got Demario Davis and Pete Werner. And then you've got Caden Ellis and Divine Diablo. Give me the Saints here. Demario Davis is a good player. Lavonte David follows that up. And then we got Panthers or Falcons. Who we think here? Give me Falcons over the Panthers on that one. Head coaches. Todd Bowles. What's his name? Oh, brother. He just came in like a year ago. I can see his face. Oh, my goodness. Raheem Morris, and then Dave Canales, and Kellen Moore. He's a new one. So I think we're going to go pretty much just in that order. I think right there. I think exactly what we're doing. So in this we see, I think the Bucs do win this one. They seem to have the most in round one. I think the Falcons get the second one because they have the least in this one. And then we probably go, Saints are a big, they got a big well over here, but the Panthers got a big well up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so Saints are last place and Panthers are third place. That's how we're doing it for the NFC South. And for the last division, the NFC West here, we've got quarterbacks. You've got Sam Darnold now, Matthew Stafford, Kyler Murray, and Brock Purdy. For me, Matthew Stafford is number one. For me personally, I like Kyler Murray next. I like Brock Purdy after that. And I like Sam Darnold after that because Sam Darnold's played he's like a rookie at this point. He played 1 year of football, and now we have no idea what to think about it. Otherwise, I know a lot of people are probably going to say Kyler's not as good as Purdy. Kyler at least has some legit arm talent. Purdy is a very average arm talent, plus he doesn't have the most athleticism. Kyler's just a better player. I think you put Kyler on the Niners, and they're probably a lot better than they are now. Anyways, that's maybe a hot take, but anyways. Kyron Williams, Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet. You got James Conner, and you got Christian McCaffrey. Obviously, when healthy, Christian McCaffrey's there. Kyron Williams, Ken Walker, James Conner. James Conner is not a bad RB, but he just happens to play in a division with a lot of really good running backs. O-line for this one, this gets tough. All right, O-line here. I had to look up depth charts because it's hard to remember every player every time, dude. Come on now. I probably could tell you if you just asked me one off, but all 4 teams, Moving on. I think the Rams have probably the best O-line here. They have a really underrated O-line. Kevin Dotson, Rob Havenstein, Steve Avila, and then Alaric Jackson's not a bad left tackle. You got some good stuff going on there. I think the Cardinals come in next. Jalte Froholt was a phenomenal player last year in the season of 2024-25. Then you've got the Seahawks, and then you've got the Niners. Niners, obviously, they have Trent Williams, but after that, it's pretty much garbage lining their front five. So, yeah, not great. Receiver rooms. You got Brandon Ayuk. You got Marvin Harrison. You got Puka and now Devontae Adams. They're going to be number one. I'll give them that one right now. And then you've got Jackson Smith and Jigba and Cooper Kupp. Wonderful. So here, this is a tough one because Brandon Ayuk's the next best player. The depth after him, though, is just not amazing. I mean, you have Jawan Jennings and Pearsall. I guess it's not bad. Then we'll go Cardinals, then Seahawks. I think Marvin Harrison has a much higher ceiling than JSN does. I'm just not a big JSN fan. I think he's a slot receiver that isn't really that special. He's going to get some fine targets, but I think last year was inflated because of the defenses focusing more on DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett than JSN. So that's how it is now. Could change, though. We'll see. Kittle, I mean, we're not going to waste any time. He's the best tight end in this division. Then it's probably Trey McBride, and then who's the Rams tight end? It's still Tyler Higbee? Yeah, okay. Give me Tyler Higbee, and then give me Noah Fant. Not really a big Noah Fant guy, just being honest. Cornerback room here. The Niners have a new corner. Who do they have now? Or no, they lost somebody. They do have Upton Stout and Renardo Green. There's some young guys. Darius Williams, Akella Witherspoon, and Quentin Lake are the guys for the Rams. Garrett Williams, Will Johnson, and Sterling Thomas. That's what we're looking at over in Arizona. And then Seattle. Yeah, Seattle has the best ones here. They obviously got Devin Witherspoon and what's his name? Tariq Woolen. There we go. Couldn't think for a second. Then after that, that's where it gets tough because it's just not great. It's just not great. I'm going to probably go Darius Williams and Akella Witherspoon are pretty solid. Then we'll go with the Cardinals and whatever talent they have down there. And then the Niners. I mean, Demidor Lenore is a solid nickel, like number 2, fine. But that's it. They don't have any like high-end talent. I'd argue that Will Johnson, if he can stay healthy, is much better. Garrett Williams was pretty dang good last year, and so on and so forth. Niners, they have Jared Brown and Malik Mustafa for the safety duo. Cam Curl and Cam Kitchens, 2 Cams for the Rams. You've got Jalen Thompson and Budda Baker for the Cardinals. They're probably going to win this one. And then Julian Love and Kobe Bryant. So, yeah, we'll go those 2 right here. After that, we'll jump over to – I like the Cams. I do like the Cams. And then we'll go with the Niners and the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks, I mean, Kobe Bryant and who's the other one? Julian Love, just not special. Love is fine, but I'd rather take Mustafa and Jair. I'll take Love over those two, actually. I will take Love over either of these guys, so give me that one. D-line obviously includes edge rushers. Nick Bosa, Kevin Givens, Jordan Elliott, Mykel Williams. I'm a fan of the Mykel Williams draft pick, that's for sure. Braden Fisk, Poona Ford, Kobe Turner, Byron Young, Jared Verse. Solid. Okay. Now, we got Josh Sweat, Walter Nolan, Dalvin Tomlinson, Justin Jones, and then Baron Browning for the Cardinals. And then the Seahawks have Leonard Williams, Byron Murphy, Jaron Reed, DeMarcus Lawrence now. That's a pretty solid upgrade. Uchenna Nwosu. Really solid D-lines in this division. I think I'm going to go with the Niners having Bosa as a big help. After that, Rams have a really deep group. Obviously, Poona Ford, Braden Fisk, Kobe Turner, Byron Young, Jared Verse, obviously all really, really good. Cardinals over here, they just don't have a lot of up-end talent. Like Walter Nolan, I'm excited to see what he can do, but I just don't think they have, like, other than him, nobody's going to be an elite player. So that's what we're looking at for the D-line. Linebackers, obviously Fred Warner, he's going to walk away with this one very quickly. It doesn't matter who else is with him. Just for the fact of the matter, he does have Nick Martin and D. Winters with him, but who cares? You got Troy Reader, Omar Spates. That's who you're looking at for the Rams. That's not great. You've got Akeem Davis-Gaither and Mac Wilson for the Cardinals, and you've got Ernest Jones and Tyrus Knight. I'm going to go with Ernest Jones. I'm going to go with there, and then we're going to go with Seahawks last. And then head coaches. So, head coaches here, we got to thank Jonathan Gannon. I know what his name is. Kyle Shanahan. There we go. Jeez, so terrible. Sean McVay, and then Mike McDonald. So I'm going to go Sean McVay. I'm going to go Shanahan. I'm going to go Gannon, and then I'm going to go Mike McDonald. We haven't seen Mike McDonald do enough yet. Give him time. No, I don't think he's bad particularly, but looks like the best team in this division is going to be the Rams. They only have one position outside of the top two, and that is tight end, so that's not that big a deal. Tyler Higbee's still fine. I think number 2 looks like it's the Cardinals, man. Looks like I like the Cardinals more than anything else because they only have 2 of these back here, and the Niners have 3. So Niners in 3rd place and Seahawks in 4th place. So that's it for the NFC West. That's it for this video. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Who's better, who's worse that I had listed. Let me know what you want to see next. I'm doing Madden rebuilds this summer, trying to get that going. But either way, let me know what you think, and I'll see y'all in the next video.